I'm having the most perfect hallucination, cries a young man under the influence of LSD. Green and blue patterns are pouring all over me like a deck of cards. I have a feeling this is what Alice Paradise must be like. I don't feel I'll ever be the same again. Another man lying on the sofa, motionless as state, spoke out under the influence of the drug and said, all over the ceiling are geometric patterns of light. To say they are beautiful is a word too shallow to use. A Canadian girl under the influence of the drug said, next morning my arms were very long, long arms covered with beautiful feathers. Another man under LSD said all about me was nothingness, absolute empty space. I was floating on a solitary island in the ether. No part of my body was subject to gravitation. The teacher under the influence of LSD is reported as having said, it was love itself. It was Oriental women such as I have never known. Fat and languorous beyond belief. Luscious beyond man's power of normal imagination. The report from another user of LSD is, after taking LSD, you can do anything better than you did before. You feel that something big physically has happened onto you. You feel violence in your system. The salesman taking LSD became convinced he was the Messiah. The young man listening to a cello under the drug said, I became the cello and the cello strings and the music and the man who played the music. Another man under the influence of the drug said, I found I could make my room expand 1,000 miles. I could also contract it right in front of me. My conscious mind was sort of sitting on my shoulder, watching everything I was doing. Still another man says, the one who goes out from this door and enters it again will never be the same man as the one that went out. A university student says, taking other drugs is like climbing a sand. Taking LSD is like scaling Mount Everest. To the ones in the psychedelic world, it is called the aristocrat of the hallucinogens. A few days ago, a young man in Los Angeles walked in front of a speeding automobile. He thought he could do this and not be injured because he had taken LSD. Only a few days prior to this tragedy, in the state of New York, a young man stepped from the top of a 4-story building thinking he could fly because he had taken LSD. A young lady committed to a mental institution thinking she was the Messiah and had come to end wars because she had taken LSD. These are just a few of the tragedies and real examples of
Hey, welcome to Pop Goes the Show. I'm Adam.
And I'm Slacker Steve.
And today we're going to talk about some lawsuits, some cheeses. So basically this episode is like the cheese and wine episode.
Yes, very.
You'll see what we mean. So have you seen this story about Chris Fehn from Slipknot? Is
it Fine or Fane?
Fehn, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't do names.
I'm not good with nuts. I wasn't a Boy Scout.
Yeah.
So he's suing Slipknot. He's suing Corey Taylor and Sean. And basically what he said is that the money that they're paid as members of Slipknot is distributed into a company that then, allocates that money to the various members based on, the agreed pay. Mm-hmm. Well, what he's claiming is that the money has been funneled into other projects, Slipknot related, that they've started other LLCs and such to, make Slipknot money, and that money is not being funneled into that fund, therefore like depriving him of funds. And there's a lot of people talking smack saying, well, the guy just beats on a barrel for a living. And if I'm not a big fan of Slipknot. I never have been. But even I know that he's done quite a bit more than that. With Corey Taylor's voice being what it is now, him getting a little older and the wear and tear on his voice, that dude does a lot of the screams live. He does backing
I remember
vocals.
when I saw the Psychosocial video, his backing vocals are actually kind of a big part of that.
Yeah, and he also, if I remember correctly, and I believe it, it may state that in there somewhere. He actually played bass on one of the tours, but he wasn't in the mask. He was, basically behind the scenes playing bass.
I don't think that was him.
Shows.
They had a guitar player a while back that they subbed in. Actually, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, but I know he at least does. Does backing vocals live, stuff like that.
Yeah.
He has input in the band. Like he's not, he's not just a dude banging on a trash can. There's a lot of haters right now that are going, "Oh, it must suck to be you. How much do you think you should get paid?" Well, I'm a member of Slipknot, and I should get paid what's due to me. Again, I'm not picking sides on the story, but I just think that if that is what's happening, as he claims. Well, I mean, it's kind of a pretty cut and dry thing of, maybe, okay, so maybe this business venture, this dude gets 2% of what they would have made in those outside ventures.
Well,
you're not allowed to do that when everybody's got agreements and such in place.
Well, we got an article right here. So let's check this out. We got former Slipknot member defends Chris Fehn's lawsuit. Corey Taylor says he's wrongly abused. So it sounds like Corey Taylor is vehemently denying this is happening.
Which and he's possibly right. There may be a very simple explanation, but it also mentions in the story that Chris is going to hire a forensic accountant to look over all the books. And you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't fault anybody for that. I think that's actually a smart legal move right off the cuff. It's like, okay, well, was this an accounting error or was this legitimately but I think maybe you should have hired the accountant first before coming out with the story and throwing all this stuff around, and maybe you should have had your ducks in a row before you started putting people's name in your mouth, knowing and for all we know, maybe he already does know for a fact.
Well, I mean, we literally can't know because, both parties, they're going to have to not tip their hand at all, when this goes to court. So, they can't tell the public about this stuff. That stuff's got to stay under wraps for them to be a legitimate business, So we'll probably never hear the actual story behind this.
That's probably very true.
I mean, I could totally see maybe he found out there's all these companies established, but maybe it goes into the main company. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he just misinterpreted something, or maybe they actually were hiding money from the other members. In which case, that is a fucking dick move. That's a colossally huge dick move to do that. And I mean, say what you will about Corey Taylor, but he it doesn't strike me as something that he'd do. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we could go on at length about that because we'd get a lot of hate for it. Because I mean, I don't know. I guess I can't say whether I think he's that kind of guy or not because I don't know him.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
I know the Corey Taylor that he presents to the world and whatever.
And he presents a very good image of himself. But yeah, you're right.
And I kind of see it the opposite. I kind of see him as a little bit of kind of an opinionated douche sometimes.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean
that that's him.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he's a money launderer.
That's what I was just going to say. That doesn't make him a money launderer or criminal or whatever. But then again, though, it's it's all what, the Corey Taylor that we, have any opinions of is what the media or what he has presented of himself. So
I guess like the thing to take away from this is like, we don't know.
Yeah.
And, maybe that's not for any of us to decide, I guess, it's.
But what we shouldn't be doing is I guess the one thing we shouldn't be doing is throwing wild accusations, and we shouldn't be calling, Chris a guy who bangs on kegs and like demeaning the guy's craft and what he's put into music and whatever. You don't have to be a fan of Slipknot.
Well, and I think
but I see a lot of haters in comment sections and stuff like that all over that are just, these armchair quarterbacks that have no idea what the guy actually does. And it's like, people say, well, that's not a valid argument. But they say, well, where's your hit record? Like, well, who the fuck are you, dude? Like, you can't sit in your armchair and like demote a guy, even if all he was doing is banging on kegs. Well, he gets paid a hell of a lot more money to do it, and has seen the world over multiple times just banging on a keg. So what's that say about whatever talent you think you have? Like, calm down, haters. We will never know the truth, really. Like, we will never know really what happened down to the last detail. So, like, I think at this point, people need to just stop bashing both sides. Yeah, nobody should be taking sides at this point, I think, is our conclusion. Nobody should take sides on this thing. If you're a fan of the music, then just be a fan of the music. Members change, things happen, they come and go. I mean, like, dude, shit happens. Bands are like families, but like worse.
Yeah, and I mean, going back to the Chris Fehn thing, it's, maybe he didn't technically contribute as much to it as, say, the guitar player or Corey Taylor. Or
but
whoever,
and he actually claims that he did with songwriting and all that.
And yeah, and if that's the case, then he was a bigger part than people think. I mean, it's like actors always get credit for things that the writers and directors direct the actors to do. And I'm not saying that the actors aren't like a big part of production. They're arguably one of the biggest parts. But a lot of times we see them as the people they're acting as and not really paying attention to the writers. And I think a lot of times that's the same with music. Like, the guy's there, so he's obviously doing something. I mean, I don't think they would keep him around if he was just banging on drums,
Exactly. That's, yeah. So, yeah. Well, we'll probably be talking more about that because I'm sure that's going to be, this is like Kiss level shit, when the first members of Kiss split off, when somebody when they replaced Peter Criss, for example, and Ace, like that.
Yeah, there's like a story like every day.
That's what I'm saying, and I think this is, I'm not comparing Slipknot and Kiss, like not at all.
They're kind of similar. But, not in musical style, but in like setup.
But as far as, their fans and how their fans feel about members leaving and stuff like that. So we'll keep you posted on that. In the meantime, we got something really good. There's not a lot of information about it. But there's
we got an article here from Broples.
Broples?
I'm not sure what that is. Let's take a look here. I can't see the mouse all the way from over there.
While he's pulling this story up.
Well, I got it right here. So
hey, there we go.
Okay, so the article's titled "There's a King of the Hill reboot, possibly with an older Bobby Hill."
And we've heard about this before. This will be like 10 years in the future. And, like Hank's all old. And they're going to, from what I understood, that, they kind of dance around the Luann and Lucky thing. Mm-hmm. Like they moved away, they did whatever. They moved away because, Brittany Murphy, Tom Petty, both dead. So
yeah,
they can't really do Luann and all that in there.
Yeah, huh.
But it could be interesting. I mean, do you remember the final episode?
Refresh my memory on it. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Well, it just ended with everybody outside in their yards. Just the neighbors all, just outside having a good time. And it shows Boomhauer. The last thing you see is Boomhauer's in his bedroom. And he pulls his wallet out and he lays it on his dresser. And it falls open. And it's a Texas Ranger badge. And you finally find out what Boomhauer's job was. He was a Texas Ranger.
Okay, so I found like a more expanded article here, like on Rotten Tomatoes. So it looks like that other article kind of leached off and didn't have like the most like information like this one does. But So right here it says Mike Judge might bring back King of the Hill with an older Bobby and do another Beavis and Butthead movie. So the part 2 is also pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know about that. Hey, Butthead. Hey, Butthead.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I feel bad because I didn't really like catch the revival like series at all. While
People
it was on.
trashed it because it was, originally it had music videos and stuff in it. And this one kind of didn't really, I don't really think this one was more like an episode, of King of the Hill, which is what the later Beavis and Butthead turned into anyway. So I don't know why they're complaining.
Well, I mean, I like the music video part, but that wasn't like what I watched when I would
one
look
of
forward
the
to with
episodes
Beavis
in
and
the new
Butthead.
one, Beavis took control of a military drone. He's like, it's a video game. Look at this. This is awesome. Oh, dude, it was so good. Like, I loved it, and then it was just gone again. I was like, Mike Judge just tickled the taint just a little bit, and then he bounced. And I was like, oh, dude, come on. Like, I don't care that it's stupid and juvenile. Like, that's why I liked it, and that's why I still like it now. Because I can just turn my brain off and go, this is just stupid. I love it.
Well, and I think it's funny that like people act like people are going to imitate Beavis and Butthead. I mean, if you have half a brain, and I guess a lot of people don't, but if you have half a brain, you know that you're supposed to laugh at Beavis and Butthead because they're idiots.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how much more obvious you can get. Like, this is an idiot. Like, I can get emulating Homer Simpson, but like Beavis and Butthead, I mean,
Well, and it was fun when, it was fun being an idiot like that when I was a kid and it was on. Me and my friend in the back seat, like, I got blonde hair, he's got brown hair, we both got band shirts on. I'm like, hey, Butthead, shut up. Shut up. My dad's like, oh, God. I hate that show.
oh, but like, I was like in my zeros, like whatever the first 10 is. When that show came out, and I guess like me and my buddy like imitated it all the time, and my mom was just like, "Oh my God, stop it!"
I even had the Beavis, like the Burger World. I had the Burger World uniform shirt.
That's great.
But it was like on a T-shirt. Oh, it was awesome. I love me some Beavis and Butthead, and the movie still holds up. The movie still holds up.
Yeah, I watched that one really recently. It was
People
really good.
forget that like the main characters in that it was Robert Stack, Bruce Willis, Demi Moore. Like there was a bunch of good people as the voice actors in that movie.
Yeah, it was a really solid movie, I thought.
Bruce Willis and Demi Moore were like the two main bad guys.
And then the white zombie video in the middle was like really cool. That was a really good way of like doing a music video in the movie, like without it being like super
the
cliche.
soundtrack was good. Ozzy was on there. Like there's a lot of good stuff. So that's exciting. We'll be
hopefully they can like capture that magic again. Like I think they can.
we'll be talking a lot about that if that comes back.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not gonna lie.
All right, so moving on to our next topic. Let's see. We want to do Metallica next?
Yeah, because there's
Well, let's open this by saying, do you remember Metallica's S&M album? Have you ever listened to it?
yeah.
Like I got that thing on vinyl. That's possibly one of my favorite things that Metallica ever put out.
It was really good, but it was not, I think, what some people were expecting because it was S&M. And I turned it on and I was like, what's this? I was like, this is not what I signed up for, but this is good though. And it was, there's some people that still trash it. Like they just like, oh, it's not heavy. And I'm like, how is it not heavy?
Like with the fucking orchestra, it's heavy as shit.
How is it not heavy? Like, calm down. Like the adults are talking, you uncultured swine. Sit down.
Yeah. Like, and Kiss did their own like orchestra offering, and I think Metallica like did it way better because they integrated the orchestra, like it twisted in and out, and like in the Kiss like symphony one, I think it was a live 4. Like it was the symphony was playing
overall players in
Kiss.
Metallica. I think overall musical ability, Metallica's probably better than Kiss.
Yeah, I'd probably.
Gene
say so.
Simmons isn't a great bass player.
Yeah, they're better songwriters than they are musicians, really.
Yeah.
And there is a distinction. Like some people don't get that there's a distinction, or they don't like want to understand that there is, I guess.
Yeah, like you can write a good song but be a crap music. It happened. I mean, look around you. It's in music every day. Like turn your radio on. Like you hear something, you're like, how did this ever even? And
I mean, at the end of the day, music is a mathematical equation of noises that enter your brain, and we all have, and we're all attuned to different things. So it's like somebody that like needs a million notes an hour probably wouldn't be satisfied by somebody that loves minimalism.
And they'd be wrong.
I love minimalism.
Because we have scientific evidence to prove that now. We have scientific evidence to prove good music from shitty music.
Well, there are studies that show like why we listen to what we listen to. I've seen people talk about how like pop music is all engineered and everybody, even people that claim they hate it, secretly like it. I don't know if that's true. Like there's a lot of pop music that like I physically hate. So I think everybody probably has their own like settings that they need to adjust for themselves. That's why there's a wide variety of music. That's why we're all like different.
But I think the cheese says otherwise.
The cheese?
The cheese says otherwise. I can prove this shit.
Ah, yes.
Scientifically. So scientists, they made cheese and they aged the cheese for 6 months with a song playing on a loop. And they did it to like 4 different ones.
So yeah, we got researchers played nonstop loops of Led Zeppelin, A Tribe Called Quest, and Mozart to cheese wheels to find out how the sound waves impacted flavor.
Yeah.
I never would have come up with that.
No, so in the cheese says that exactly what you would expect. Basically, like the Mozart and the Zeppelin and stuff like that is a little more like of a mild cheese, but the hip hop was like funky, like which is like it's odd. They said it was a funkier, like stronger cheese. And that one, taste-wise, in the taste test, that one was actually the more preferred one. So, I mean, did they just scientifically prove that hip hop is just tastier? It's just tastier. It's just funkier. If you like it funky, then you want some hip hop with your cheese. Did you guys catch that? Like the, cheese and the wine thing. Get it? Like we're talking about cheese, and like people are whining about getting sued. See, like, boom. Look at that. It's a callback.
All right.
Yeah. So get you some funky cheese.
I guess the science is there. I mean, I like mild cheese.
I wonder if that works on craft singles.
I don't know.
If I put a craft single,
just put it on your boombox.
No, I'm just going to put it in
happens.
a box in my basement and just play that, like Ariel Grande or something for like 6 months straight.
Yeah, that'll get funky, all right.
Yeah, that's. I wonder if that'll work. I'm going to age my American cheese.
That sounds like a euphemism. I'm going to age your American cheese.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Let's not do that. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even got anywhere to go for that.
Well, I guess we'll just move on. So let's do our what we've been listening to segment.
Oh no, you know what? I forgot about something.
Go on.
Did you hear that somebody stole Saving Abel's banner?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
The band Saving Abel. Yeah, I guess at one of their recent stops, somebody actually stole their banner off the back of the stage, like during loadout or something, and it just like came up missing. And my first thought was, how mad were they when they got back to wherever their criminal lair? Huh. And they're like, we got it. We stole this.
Stolen amps are us.
We stole Kiss's sigil. Yes. And they unrolled it and it was Saving Abel. He's like, no, it's bad magic. No, this isn't what we wanted. What the hell?
I was hoping to get a vintage guitar.
They got kicked out of the Guild of Thieves for stealing a Saving Abel banner.
I feel like the Zelda, like, da-da-da-da, and then it goes, down. But, like, seriously, though, that sucks for them because that's something that's worth a lot to them.
Yeah.
And now they're just going to have to replace that for no reason.
And they are really nice guys, though.
Yeah, that's like super shitty it's super shitty for anybody to steal anything from a musician.
Yeah.
Like, musicians are fucking poor. They're as poor as I am, and all I do is sit in this chair all day. So
yeah. And yeah, don't steal stuff from bands. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
seriously, just like people are doing stuff at shows lately where I'm just going, you're fucking it up, man. You're messing it up for everybody. Like there's always got to be that one cat that's got to fuck it up for everyone. And then they go, nope, Can't do that anymore. Nope. Can't do that
I mean,
anymore.
if you're gonna steal from anybody, steal from the rich because they can replace it. Like a band that's on tour, like
Just
that's a dick move.
yeah, no, don't steal from rich people because they're
Molotov cocktail rising.
yeah, some Hunger Games shit.
We're gonna start the purge.
Yeah, we're gonna lose because we're gonna make it like a block. We're gonna be like, ew, like it's on me, like gross. No.
I'd go right away because I mean I can't get up from this chair anymore. I've been here for too long, so I mean.
And I'd get killed like refilling my douche flute. I'd be like, boop, squirting some juice in there, and then
Fucking dead.
I'd be like, my son would make fun of me. He'd be like, oh, Dad, he smelled like Grapelicious. Just a cloud of grape, and he was gone. Stupid.
So you been listening to anything lately?
Yes.
What do you got? Hit me with it.
Dropkick Murphys.
Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah, that's what I've been listening to.
Irish punk band.
Yeah.
I almost said Italian punk band. I mean, I guess it's a thing.
But that would be a weird accent to hear it in, and be like, in the rose tattoo in the. No, that's the song that
After we're done, I'm totally gonna look up like an Italian punk band and like talk about it next time.
It's me and a rose tattoo. But no, that's the song that got me because I was allegedly, I was doing some stuff on a soundboard on St. Paddy's Day. So, obviously, again, what are you going to play in between? Like, you're going to play that. So I just like randomly was playing some Irish stuff on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
And that came up. So I was like, well, it's an Irish band that's playing like all day. This makes sense. I played it. I was like, that's a pretty kick-ass song. I kind of like that. There was a story about him getting in a fight with a fan too recently. I think it was on St. Paddy's Day in Boston. And like he bloodied the dude's eye because the dude jumped off stage and shit. And apparently that happens. They just get rowdy and that shit happens. I'm like, gee, imagine that. Like it's an Irish punk band like in Boston on St. Paddy's Day, and like somebody got punched in the head.
Yeah, it
like,
sounds about right.
People get punched in the head St. Paddy's Day anywhere else, anyways. Like that's not an uncommon
like
occurrence.
reggae music could be playing.
But you're in an
and somebody would
Irish
get
punk.
punched.
You're in an Irish punk show on St. Paddy's Day. Like dude. Like mind your business. Like you might get socked upside the head. Like that's the risk you take. But I mean, it would be a pretty cool show. That would have still been pretty neat to be at. That's like a one of a kind environment. Happens like once a year at one place in the world. Mm-hmm. And it's not Ireland. So what about you?
Well, I was listening to Guns N' Roses' Chinese Democracy album, which I hated that album when it came out. And like now that I'm listening to it again, I realize that they're like a lot of the tracks are actually super good. Like if you like just take away the Guns N' Roses name and like listen to it like, I don't know, like an Axl Rose solo album or like Axl Rose and Friends or whatever, like, and just listen to it like with that in mind, like I think it's a really good album. And I think like part of it is because Buckethead was on it. Like, are you familiar with Buckethead?
Yeah.
So he wrote like one of my favorite tracks on that album, Shackler's Revenge, which is like more of an industrial song, like than it is like a blues rock song, like you expect from Guns N' Roses. And that just kind of made me seek out like Buckethead's like solo stuff. So I've been listening to his album, Giant Robot.
Nice.
So there's a lot of really like good songs on it, and like some stuff that you can kind of get into the guy's like mentality. Like he's a very like strange, neurotic like dude that like wears a mask and like comes out to like he has to put that on to like go and like perform. Like he uses it as kind of like a shield, I guess.
Like a security blanket.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a bubble.
Yeah, and it was actually detailed. I found on this podcast that he did with a therapist. So
yeah, it was like a rare out of character like interview.
yeah,
like,
and this happened like several years ago, but I just finally like got around to it because I was curious about the guy because he's actually like super interesting. Like he's released like over 100 albums. Like if you go and look at his discography section, like you'll scroll for like what feels like 15 minutes. Like, just very active guy. But like, he did this interview with a therapist, and this is really the first time that you like heard his voice and realized it, I guess. Like, kind of like Ghost, he was really good at like hiding his identity. Like, there's like one picture of him, like when he was like super young, and like maybe like one other like really hard to find like on VHS, like couldn't find until the age of the internet like thing where he's wearing like a clear mask, but like otherwise like nobody knew what this guy looked like even like Guns N' Roses people. So like he just has this like mysterious persona around him. So for him to like give this interview was like kind of like a huge thing. And it's like him talking to his therapist, and he's saying that he needs to like do more, I guess, to be like more assertive and like get some of his more of his goals accomplished. Like he really wants to start like a theme park, for instance. And he's been having a hard time because he's like kind of introverted. I mean, I think like wearing the outfit that he wears kind of shows that he's a pretty introverted guy.
Like you have a KFC bucket on your head. Like you are an interesting fella. Like I know you don't talk, but I'd love to have a conversation with you because like you just seem like an interesting dude.
Yeah. And I can tell from like the interview, like the guy doesn't like talk a whole lot. Like he didn't really give interviews before. Like the few interviews I saw from him, like he always had like a puppet, and he'd be doing like a shrill voice through it like that. So you didn't like get to hear what Buckethead sounded, or I guess maybe that was what Buckethead sounded like. I don't know, but yeah, he used a puppet. So this is the first time like I heard him use his voice, like to talk, and I could tell that he's like not used to like giving interviews. Like he stutters and stammers a bit. Like a lot of times, like I feel that way. Like when I talk to people on the phone, for instance, you know, and it was really like interesting, like be able to peek into his psyche like that. And he's talking about becoming more active because I guess he has like a heart problem where it's like rhythmically out of beat or whatever. And he's like, I don't know if I could be here like in the next few years. So I want to get everything I want to get accomplished like now while I still can, you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Living in a world without Buckethead. That would suck.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine a world without Dio or Lemmy either, but
yeah,
I mean, Buckethead seems like such like a child at heart. That,
dude, that'd be such a badass band in heaven, though.
Yeah,
or hell, whatever, wherever you go, that would be a badass band.
Well, he's like 49, and I still like see him like he's a 20-year-old, like in my head, like just under there. Like Buckethead never ages. I think it's so it's strange. Cool. Yeah,
he could just play like that till he's as long as he's got. And nobody be any the wiser.
Yeah.
And he could pass it on to the next Buckethead. The last Buckethead. That's what Disney's doing for the last movie. The last Buckethead.
Well,
Rise of the Buckethead.
So I'll mention my favorite track from Giant Robot is it's one called like We Come in Peace, and it like starts out like really like melodic and happy, and then suddenly it's just like dun 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 dun, and then there's like a news narrator guy. He's like talking about how there's like a giant Buckethead is attacking Tokyo and like liberating chickens and taking them to a fortified chicken coop up on Mount Fuji.
Oh my
god, it's so great. Like look it up. It's called We Come in Peace, and everything's on fucking YouTube these days. So
yeah,
like just
like us.
Yeah, like that's where we're at, or Podbean, or trapped. iTunes, or SoundCloud.
Send supplies.
And I think that's it. That's everything we got for tonight, right?
Big shout out to the first responders for the floods that are going on in Iowa and Nebraska right now. I've noticed that hasn't gotten, a lot of media attention necessarily. But there's I believe I saw a stat that said Nebraska has like 79 counties or something like that, 71 counties.
Yeah, my mom sent me a picture of her backyard.
And like 60 some of those were underwater. There's entire towns that in Iowa and Nebraska both right now that are not going to be able to be rebuilt. Like they're not. So, the government said today that, they're going to send some relief and, get everybody the help they need and, loan people money and, do all that stuff to get them back on their feet. But, when an entire town's washed out. So, thought we'd shout that out, get in touch with the, The Red Cross, I know they're doing something for it. There's lots of organizations out there online right now that are offering assistance, actions speak louder than words. Send some bottled water, send some toilet paper, whatever you got. I hate to end it on a heavy note like that, but yeah. And we've, when something like that is going on, this show doesn't get that serious very often, but it's a pretty serious situation going on in the Midwest right now. So,
well, yeah. So, I hope everything works out for everybody. Like my mom, she sent me a picture of her backyard and said, "Well, I always wanted a beachfront property." So,
yeah, this isn't the
crazy.
island. This isn't the island life that that people in the Midwest were hoping for. This is not. Yeah. No,
well, my favorite is I saw one where it's like, oh, I wish the snow would melt, and then it's like, okay, and then it's the shocked Pikachu going, ha.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, let's end tonight with just talking about some show stuff. So going forward, I think I'm going to start uploading this in segments. That way, if you want to watch the full thing, maybe I'll put that up too. I don't know. But if you want to listen to the full thing, you can listen to us on Podbean or iTunes. There's some links down in the thing down there where all the information is.
Otherwise, we're just going to put it all up in clips and we're going to misnumber them. So you got to put it together like a puzzle if you want to watch the whole episode.
Yeah. And then sometimes we'll mislead you. And
it's like the stupidest Tom Clancy plot line ever. It's like Tom Clancy for idiot. See, it's Tom Clancy for idiots. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Speaking of which, I hired us an IT guy. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin over there, he was over there. He's always working on computers anyway.
Nepotism. # nepotism. Yep. And you know what that word means? It's not. I guarantee there's somebody who's gonna be like, they said a bad word. They said nepotism.
Nepotism sounds like a really delicious ice cream.
Yeah. I want some nepotism ice cream.
Oh,
no, I don't,
good.
because it tastes like my family.
Oh God!
I don't want nepotism.
No, you
ice
ruined
cream.
it. You ruined it. You fucking ruined it. What the fuck?
You only get to eat your dad's ice cream because it's your dad. That's # nepotism. Let's get that trending. Or # dad's ice cream. That's a good one too. Either one of those. We just want to get one. Just give us one. Somebody out there help us out. Yeah. # nepotism.
Yeah.
# dad's ice cream truck.
I don't think going for the ice cream there is going to do us any fucking favors.
That's okay though. If we got dad's ice cream truck trending, # dad's ice cream truck, that'd be fantastic.
That's fucking terrible.
Yeah. # clown shoes.
Let's see. Entity Productions just sent us an email saying the opinions of the hosts don't necessarily reflect the opinions of the company. Oh, okay. I guess the entity doesn't like jokes.
Yeah, he does. Look at the bottom. He typed it at the bottom. # dad's ice cream truck. See, no, that's a better way to end the show. I brought everybody down, and then I brought him even lower with # dad's ice cream truck. # nepotism. Yeah, that's that. You know what? If that's the one that did it, I would be so happy. It's just #. Somebody managed to translate that. All right.
Well, all right. Well, you got somewhere to run. I got somewhere to sit. So we're gonna end it right there.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Slacker Steve.
Get me my where's my body, robot Hagno?
And playing us out, another song from Liquid Fudge.
seek to unwind the depth of the void that swallows my time. I trudge through the marsh, I follow this farce. Two logical ends, I finish right at the start. Say that my temporal loop is killing your fantasy.